Well, I don't know how to tell people there's another stream going live. Let's see if it's live. Is it working?
It came up on mine. It says Radio Zero is live now.
All right. Well, we are streaming. All right. Is there a way you can put a message in the other stream? Is it muted? How about now? Oh no, that's the little that's the computer running it.
Oh, it says it's coming on now.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you want to talk anymore, or should I?
Trying to say that we are streaming somewhere else. All right, yeah, Tim, yeah, Jason, everybody says they can hear.
You can hear us now.
Everybody says they can hear us now.
All right.
Okay, so say everything you just said. Over
I know,
again
I can't
from the
remember.
beginning. From the very beginning.
So, what are you gonna have for? What are you gonna have for dinner tonight,
I'm
Matt?
gonna seek out a garden dog from Portillo's.
Yeah. Is there a Portillo's nearby?
Sponsored by Portillo's.
Yeah,
and
it's
Dr. Pepper.
not sponsored by Portillo's.
There's always
Oops.
a garden dog nearby. It's good stuff.
Not a sponsor.
I don't know who did the healthy snacks for the podcast, but good job.
Matt always gives us food. We're at Matt's bar right now. He's got a bar in his basement, so we've got the ultimate rehearsal space. He's got a little rehearsal room, and then off the rehearsal room, there's a full bar. And
Which is great for people that don't drink.
he got me a Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Rose didn't get anything. What do you have, Jim?
Dr. Pepper
Not a sponsor.
and some pizza crackers.
Wait,
Rose brought.
yeah, I brought some like fancy
Pizzetta.
crackers. Yeah. What are those pickles that you made? Did you make those pickles?
This is celery.
Oh, it's celery. Oh, it looks like pickles to me. Ah.
Have you ever
nice.
Celery
pickled?
with tzatziki.
Oh, and you
celery?
have dried pineapple too.
Yes, I do.
Can I have one of
Of
those?
course, you could have 100 of them.
Wow, no sugar added.
Are you on your own tonight, Matt?
No.
No. Okay. Just the garden dog. You're going to go get a garden dog somewhere? You're going to
Just
take
sit
the family?
in the corner, eat it myself, while my family eats the regular meat.
I was going to say we could go
my
do
God,
a
this is
band
so
family meal, but
Or they might not be
Portillo's.
back for a while.
yeah.
But if you saw the size of the lunch I ate, you'd be very disappointed in me.
Was it a big lunch?
It was huge. It was like super disgusting. When I was very disgusted with myself after it.
Let's hear about it.
Well, somebody got some steak and shake and didn't want it. A child in our house, so of course I ate
Waste
the burger.
not, want
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
And then of course I had already put a plate together of my own lunch before I found out about the steak and shake burger. So of course I ate both.
Did you like make a sandwich? Like you had a sandwich and you put the steak and shake inside your sandwich?
Yeah, right. It was like a skirt steak, then like it was basically 3 different kinds of meat, and then one that had 2 pieces of bread on the top and bottom.
It's all going in the same place.
All going to the same place. Needed to have a bunch of energy for the practice. You have to carb up like you're on a marathon.
You're a carbo loader. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got
exactly.
an excuse.
Ready for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So, well, no, the recorded podcast has the show announcement.
Oh,
I
that's
guess.
right.
There was the silent
10 minutes of
15
silence.
minutes. Yeah. 15 minutes of silence at the beginning, 10 minutes. You're right.
I don't know. This podcast isn't that good. There's no
It's-
sound.
It's just pictures of them talking to each other. I don't hear anything.
Oh, that's excellent.
We were talking about politics. You were talking about like what's going on in the world of politics. Anybody have questions for us? Have questions for the band?
We have a question for Matt here. Chris Gooseman says, meat loading. I'll read all the questions here. Chris Gooseman says, I can hear you. Jason says, I can hear you. Tim Conaley says, I can hear you. Tim Bauer says, hooray. Cody B says, awesome show so far. I'm sure that's not sarcastic. And then Tim Bowers has a question for Matt, which is, what older P-Kids song was the hardest to learn? That's a great question.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that because I think of it in like sections where, well, because we get ready to play a certain set list for like a certain group of shows, and this group of shows, I think it's Byron's song was.
Oh, really? What?
But I
what?
think we play it the best.
Oh, I love that song. It's like the bass part of that song. I can't believe I wrote that, and it's like one of the first songs. Like it was before I knew.
I can't believe I'm awesome.
No. It's before I didn't know you weren't supposed to play funk bass. Like I must have thought, oh, bass is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
But when we first started practicing it, I felt really bad. I don't think it was you. It was me. Like was just not playing.
Oh no, it took a while. I think it takes like a good. All these shows we've been playing. You get to your peak now, like when on like the 5th or 6th or 10th show, you finally feel like, okay, I got this. You know, it's good.
Still, it's like that. I think I can really mess up that song. Like sometime, like if I don't play it right on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who is the original drummer on that?
Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Byron's
it wasn't
song is
Brendan.
Brendan.
No,
Yes.
it was Shannon.
Nope. Brendan.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because of the octagon.
Octobans. They had the octobon solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of toms going on in that song.
Yeah.
Octobans.
The-
What
what was?
I thought it was Esteban's.
You're too young to know about octobans.
Oh, I
huh?
know about
you know. Yeah,
octobans.
yeah.
Come on.
It was a what's his name thing, right?
Yeah, but there was a guy on Instagram who just like builds these kits of just all octobans, you know, like all various sizes, and they're easy to tune because you just turn them and then the sound goes up.
No, those are rototoms.
Well,
Octobans are the ones that Stuart Copeland had, right?
Oh,
so
the long
Tube
Tubes.
tube ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, Steve Albini hated them and turned it up really loud. I remember while he was
I think
recording.
hate's
them.
a
So
strong word.
random to have.
Well, no, they were because of the Stuart Copeland thing. The Octobans were
But didn't like Iron Maiden use those or some other people
Maybe.
as well? Interesting.
what about
Octobans?
Octobans? Yeah.
Is it like a Cinnabon?
What other?
Cinnabon for drums. I have a question for
Cinnabon
Jim,
for
which
drums.
is which was the
Yeah.
hardest song that you had to make up a new guitar part for?
Yeah.
Because when we did all these Flower Plower songs, they're like some of them I don't think we've played, right?
Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah. And there was only one guitar on Flower Plower, and here we are playing all these songs. So you had to make something up.
Yeah, I don't think I still haven't made up stuff. And I better
Just
hurry
play
up.
something
But no,
random each time.
Oh, I hate it.
I'll only do
know.
that once.
Go on,
I don't
Jim.
know. Well, yeah, Byron's song is. I don't know. That's definitely one of the fun ones to play. But we played that a lot. I'm trying to think of ones that we hadn't played, like Hollywood. I don't think that's really simple, but we never played that.
Yeah,
before
I don't
when
think
was in
you
the-
have. Yeah.
since I've been in the band. And
Then think of all the covers we play now, like Damn Yankees and stuff. Those are hard to learn.
I was like,
I can't
I'm
believe you nailed those vocals.
question for Jim from Tim Bowers. Did you beg to join the band, or did they beg you? I know the answer to that.
I don't think there's a different option.
it just kind of happened. I don't know.
We begged
just
him.
He was standing in the hallway, and they're like, "Would you like to play?"
We went down. We went back to a 3-piece for a while. We kind of, we reduced down, and it was like, and I
There are lots of band politics involved that
involved
we're
going
not going to talk about.
going to a
because
3-piece, but I also
Yeah.
feel like the one member of the band at the time might have also been not just there was a lot going on, but it also might have been an economical thing. Now I'm thinking back, it's like you get more money if you're in a 3-piece than in a 4-piece. So but that's not why we went down to a 3-piece, I don't think. And then it was just like we can't play the songs we'd been writing as a 4-piece. So we had to go back to a 4-piece. And then Jim tried out.
Really? Only Jim tried out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just let
But
Jim
we
into
didn't
the
let him
band.
in. We didn't let him in. He tried out.
The hazing was
You know
insane.
what's really interesting is you tried out twice for the band, right? We wouldn't
Really?
let you in the first time. Not you, not Jim, Matt.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. There was an age.
What were
something
you
or other.
thinking?
Oh,
what were you
yeah.
thinking, man?
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
I
What
wanted
were
to be
you
a rock
thinking?
star.
17 years old.
Yeah, with
driving
the drum set.
to Champaign.
Right.
Long hair.
Tell the story.
Yeah.
that was the thing. Is he had?
That's
I do
right,
remember the hair with tied back in a ponytail.
And I know you complaining.
You
and
mean in the jean jacket as well?
I don't remember the jean jacket.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely remember the.
Nobody had a jean jacket with like metal.
Did you have that?
Of course I had.
Yeah,
that.
you probably did.
Not
yeah.
there, I don't think, but
Ah.
like a big gigantic metal.
So we had tryouts for after. So it would have been after Johnny, right? Yeah, yes. And then we had the tryouts in Champaign, right? So you must have come down to Champaign. Everybody came down in
The loft.
In the
was
loft.
hot
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the summer.
walk-
You know what it was?
Yeah.
It was something in the Tribune where it was like,
yeah.
poster children loses their drummer and what you call it? What's his name? Goes to form his own something.
Oh,
or other.
Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
yeah.
Yeah, Johnny went to Tortois.
Well, this wasn't Johnny. This was I guess it was that.
Yeah, it would've been
was
Johnny.
that. Yeah, you're right. But they mentioned who's the other dude? I'm so sorry.
Howie?
No.
Bob.
Bob.
Oh,
that
Bob
he was
Rising.
in Hardvark, right? At that time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have been
gotten
in
on
Hardvark then. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of mentions of a whole bunch of things going on there.
I have a question. Did your brother coerce you into trying out for our band?
No,
okay.
it was honest. It was he got into the band after the fact.
Oh,
because
okay.
then
All right. You were
we would
into
see
it
you
first.
in St. Louis when he was at Wash U. So, and you played like the Rathskeller or whatever down there.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
it was like I was like, oh, I tried out for this band, and then it was like, just became fans of the band. So usually that's how you guys get fans is you just try out drummers.
Exactly.
You're like,
That is
Exactly.
half.
you're like maybe you can next time, man.
So
Here's
and
our albums.
So yeah, why don't you
he's-
talk about it? Why don't you talk about that? The whole. I mean, do you not want to talk about it? But that first time trying out for the band,
we just
No,
didn't let
so
you in because you were too young
Well,
and you
let's
hadn't
talk.
graduated.
Let him tell the
Okay.
story instead of tell the
No, no,
ending.
no.
There's
No
another
kidding.
good question here too.
I had a Datsun that was like a pickup truck that had a bunch of Bondo on it. That was my first car ever. It was $2,000, and I filled that thing up the back with all my drums, and I was just like, I just gotta get in more bands that are doing things. And then and you're gonna hate this. Like, I didn't really even know your band that well. I was just kind of like, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
And then I looked at a bunch of stuff online. I was like, oh wow, that is really interesting. So then I think I had asked around, and they were like, oh yeah, that's a really, really good band. So then
Online? Are you sure?
Online, yeah, it wasn't online.
no,
This would have been
it was
That's
I
why
was
1990s.
talking
he's
to like
talking about
people,
the
whatever.
Tribune, yeah, or this-
Because that was the thing. You always tried to play with people that were better than you, right? So then it was like, well, if you wanted to, because my thing was like touring, right? Finding a band to tour with.
Ah.
Because I hadn't yet started touring with other bands yet. So then when I answered the ad, then I practiced incessantly, just oh God, this is a lot harder than I thought
Is
it
it
would
like
be.
like Whiplash?
It's
Like
just
you
bloody-
practiced our songs, right?
Yes, till my hands bled.
Like my God.
And then I went down there, and then I was like, I think I nailed this. Yes. And then you guys were like, yeah, that's not going to work.
You were good. No, I remember.
you were
great.
fantastic. Yeah, we
And-
were like, that guy's great, but you hadn't graduated yet.
So yeah, that was the thing. And so the thing is I think that was the same
High
deal.
school.
The same deal as with Howie. I don't think he knew our band until he saw that article. So, and then there were some other people who tried out, but then, no. But I remember we had a discussion,
Yeah.
and you were definitely like one of the top choices.
Yes.
You were great. You were great, but it was like we can't let a
But I have a
17-year-old
question for
into
you,
this
though.
band.
When you got to that point, you're like, oh God, fuck me, we got to try out another drummer. You know what I mean? Were you like, just this is we got to do this again?
No.
We already
I don't
had a
think
record
so.
contract.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, though. Kinda.
I feel like we were like unstoppable. We were just like, what do we do now? We better get another drummer. Okay. Oh, the car broke. We better get another car. You know.
What's even more terrifying is what happened when we got Johnny, which is like, if you actually look at the timeline for that, we finished a tour with Bob in like, what, Thanksgiving, probably around Thanksgiving, end of November of 1991. Is that the year? Yeah. And then he had quit during the tour, kind of wanted to come back, but we were like, oh no, we got to find drummers. And then we found Johnny, and then we got an offer to open for Swerve Driver in January. I think that tour started in January. So basically, we ramped up with a new drummer in less than a month and went on a full tour, 6-week tour with Swerve Driver.
Wow.
So
impressive.
this one where it was like,
no sweat.
it was kind of like yeah. It
We
was
have
just
plenty of time to find a drummer.
Yeah, we'll find a drummer and we'll work. We probably had to work on songs. I think that's what it was. Is we had really it was perfect timing. Johnny chose the right time, which was we had just finished that 80. We did some insane tour that was 80 days in a row. Like literally, we played 80 shows in a row, I think.
That's insane.
And didn't stay in a hotel at all. Like didn't stay. We just slept on people's floors the whole time.
That's admirable.
I think we did stay at a couple of hotels. But anyways, yeah. And then it was like, I'm done. And then yeah. So then we had time because it was like we were done with touring for Tool of the Man, and we had to write new songs. And so we just, it was like, okay, let's find a new drummer, write new songs, and then...
It seemed like it was very matter of fact for you guys. Like it was just like, that's just what we do.
What was that, 6th drummer?
That's what I guess that's what I'm saying.
Howie was
That's-
number 6.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Where
Yeah.
you're just like, oh boy, here we go. We got this thing again.
No, it was kind of like, thank God that guy's gone. Let's get somebody else. No, it wasn't like that. But it was,
yeah.
it was just. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we enjoyed playing together.
And I only say that because like I know the bands that I played with or toured, which is not many. It was like always a big deal because I toured with like a 3-piece. So if like one person wasn't in it, you'd be like, oh my God, that's the whole band. Like we can't do this anymore, or something. But that's good. That's good.
I think that this is a good conversation to continue with. But so Wilhelm Richter has asked, question for Rick, Jim, and Matt. Any revelations from Rose's book that was a surprise? And I just answered him. I don't think I'll ask, but I'm not sure that you guys read it. So,
First question, Jim, Matt. Jim, did you read Rose's book?
Part of it, not yet. I haven't gotten
Yeah.
through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Matt.
You guys don't have to. I wouldn't have read it.
Listen
Jim
what I
took
did.
Matt's answer.
I immediately. This is. I'm going to admit this live on a podcast here.
He can't read.
I looked at the index and looked at everywhere where I was mentioned.
Yeah,
And went to those pages.
that's what I would have done. I probably wouldn't have even done
Classic.
that.
And then I was like,
Well, you got okay. So
like,
the only
oh
times
yeah, I
that you
remember that.
the only times that you guys are in it are like in the tour reports anyway.
Right.
So, and I think I okayed them all with you guys. I may not
That's
have
right.
okayed it with you, but that stuff was already online.
I feel like I should be reading it with a pipe, like when I retire.
Nah, there's nothing to read.
I looked at all the pictures. I
Good.
like the little charts.
He's like, "There's me. There's me again."
You know what? Yeah, like Ian Mackay. I'll drop a name here, just because it's the only person that I talked to about this book. I think said, "How come there are no pictures of you guys when you were younger? Should have had more pictures of."
I did
you
think
guys."
that too. I was
Yeah.
kind of like shocked how many of just this constellation was.
Yeah, why not? I think I was only allowed a certain amount of. Well, actually, that changed over the year. Anyway, next question. Let's move on to the next question.
Are you at New
So
York?
no revelations at all.
Nah,
I remember the parts that I was in. Yeah.
Yeah.
you'd read them before, right? Like because they're
Yeah.
in the tour reports.
Sure he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he read those tour reports.
No, those
I
I
think
read
everybody
like
read
they
that.
were candy.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah.
when I didn't get in the band, I would read the tour reports and I was like, God, I didn't get in that band. You know what I mean? So then by the time I actually got in the band, I was like 6 times more excited because
You're
then
going
I
to be
really
on
knew
the
you
internet.
guys.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
really nice.
No joke.
All right, let's see if we have questions for these guys. Do you have any questions for them? I'm monitoring the internet.
For all things.
I'm trying to put Jim on the spot.
Yeah, everybody always wants Jim to talk.
Do you have any negative childhood memories of me, Jim?
Yeah.
Let's see, you hit me with a big pipe on the side of the garage once. I don't think you
Wow.
did it on purpose, but we were playing with
How could you
There's-
not do it on purpose?
the
I don't
pipe
remember that.
along the edge.
Just like
you remember
swinging
that?
it around was
No,
like.
it was just kind of drop. We were lifting up these big pieces. We were really young, but
Did you get knocked out?
Wow, I
Were you-
don't
no,
remember
it wasn't
that.
that bad.
Were you bleeding?
Was
Yeah.
Rick a nice older brother? Or was he mean to you? Which one of you guys was more popular in school? I already know the answer to that.
Jim.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think I was very nice to Jim when I was younger, early on.
Yeah, it's probably pretty typical.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't that
It
bad.
was
Well,
only
what-
when he got in bully pulpit you're like, okay, he's arrived. He's
Um.
good.
So and then your brother Matt is our band biologist,
Yes, he
Anthony.
is.
So which was he mean to you?
Oh yeah, we beat the crap out of each other a lot. No, I'm kidding. We would always like fake karate, and then somebody would always get hurt, and then it was I don't know. It's just like yeah, it was all just typical brother stuff, you know.
Jim and I fought physically. We had physical fights, altercations. I remember fighting, and then I had a planter's wart, not a planter's. What's the one that's like on one of my toes?
Plantar's fasciitis.
Not her
Fighting, and it got ripped off while we were fighting. Like I caught it on a couch or something, and then I was bleeding. But
That's gross.
I wasn't bleeding from the fight. It was from ripping a wart.
From a wart.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
Ripping wart.
I have
is
a memory of
an
that.
amazing band name.
Oh
Yes.
my God, there's all kinds of. I'm sorry, I was in the. Okay, wait here. Also, Tim. Okay, Tim Bauer says also regarding Rose's book, I am not sure, but I think I was the first fan mentioned in the chapters. It's possible,
go.
Tim
Yeah.
Bowers. Yeah, Timmy Bowers. Okay, let's see. Was there any rhyme or reason for the placement of the? These are questions for me,
Answer
Tim.
them.
I'll answer. Oh, well, okay. He says, was there any rhyme or reason for the placement of the tour reports as they went back and forth chronologically? Yeah, that I had so many problems trying to fit those in together, and and the publisher and everybody else said you need to put stuff in between them because they're. And then I needed to take out the ones that were kind of good because there are like thousands of tour reports, and most of them are really boring. So at near the end, I had like just the leftover ones at the end of the and it was like part 2 of the book is tour reports, and then Rick finally I made Rick read it, and Rick said, "No, you got to put those in. You were so good. You were such a great help for me writing this book. If you ever need to write a book or do anything, have Rick help you." But
No.
he's no, you got to put it back, and I was like, God damn it! And so like every even with cover art and stuff, you'd be like, nope, it's not done, and I'd be like, God damn it, and I'd go and I'd cry or something. But this one, I like by now I know if he says it's not done or if he says I need to do something, I know I need to just do it. And I think it took just a day. I just like. It was kind of like a salaryman show where they just kind of fit together like the TV just fits in at some point, and so there's not really any rhyme or reason, but they make sense to me. Thanks, Tim, for asking that. So Tim also now his next question is, these are good. Is that your natural hair color, Jim? And then, did you have a better ACT score than Rick? And if not, were you better athletically? I love these. You're going to be Tim. You're in the next. You're in the next Radio Zero.
Well, I guess the first question is yes.
It is his natural hair color. It's gotten silvery. He's graying,
bit.
but it's like silver. Their mom's hair is like silver too, but it's like this beautiful silver color.
I actually think
Right?
Jim has our dad's graying pattern, which was it happened pretty quickly, whereas our mom's graying happened over the course of 40 years. And I think I've gotten that one.
Yeah.
But Jim's hair was blonde before, right?
Yeah. Jim was
Yeah,
blonder than
reddish.
I was.
Red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reddish
Yeah.
blonde. I was a little more dishwater
Yeah.
blonde.
Now, all right. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to answer who had a better ACT score. I know because your mom told me, so I know the answer to that.
Why would she even tell you
I don't
that?
know. You guys'
That doesn't
mom is
seem-
weird.
That's
She's
not
your
true.
wife. Of course she
She-
would tell you this.
Yeah.
She,
And then
Who had a
were
better
you
score?
better
Who had a better score?
athletically? I'm guessing that you were better athletically just because the bar is real low.
The opposite of athletic.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
You
that's
were
true.
more. You were. You
It
were.
is- yeah, it is a
Jim
low
was more.
bar.
Way
Yeah.
more popular. Okay. Now we're going to ask you about all kinds of different bodily changes for you, Matt. So since
Whoa.
you're
Here we
so
go.
young, you don't have any gray hair yet.
I'm 47 years old.
That's
I'm pretty
young.
old.
Yeah. So you don't have any gray hair yet. You look the same except your hair is short.
I have like gray on the sides a little bit.
And maybe a little. I wonder if you color that.
There's.
You
I'm
colored
I'm
gray.
thicker. Like I'm fatter.
Mostly you look the same. You look
Okay.
exactly that. I often look at you while you're drumming and I wonder what you're going to look like when you're old. It's like, is he ever going to age or is he just going to look like that? What kind of old man is he going to look like?
I'd be totally fine just being this all the time.
Yeah. Men, like, oh, you guys. Oh, okay. All right, here's the next one. Andy Lester says, which one is Mom Valentin's favorite?
our parents were very, very conscious. I feel conscious of not. Maybe you feel differently. I think they did a pretty good job of not letting on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, which one got in trouble more is the question.
I don't
Where
think
they
we got
used
in
your
trouble.
full name.
Did
They're
we
like,
get in
Richard,
trouble?
get
No.
down here.
I definitely was more. I mean, there would be arguments with my mom and stuff. I think, but
yeah,
Yeah.
you're more rebellious.
yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, as a teenager.
Yeah.
Did you both cut the lawn?
Sure.
I don't remember.
I did probably more than
You
well,
did, yeah. I don't think I
Did
did.
you trade off? Or you're like,
I think our
dude, it's your
our
week.
dad did it.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Yeah, probably by the time you went to college, I started doing it at some point. But,
Yeah.
But no, my dad. Yeah, our dad usually.
Who took out the garbage?
I think our dad did a lot of that.
Dude, you made your dad take out the
Didn't
garbage?
make him.
Yeah, you know what? Their dad did his own laundry too. I think, right?
Oh,
Did
wow.
he?
you? Yeah,
I don't
because
know
you
if
told
he's
me
so
that. You
special.
always, well,
No.
I do my laundry because my dad did his laundry.
No,
No.
I do remember him saying, "Take the stuff out of the
Take the money
dryer
and run."
right away." So he had done laundry before, but
Oh.
I don't necessarily think
Oh.
he did his own laundry.
Once in his
Okay.
life.
Your guys' mom told me that Jim. Well, I know that Rick would have arguments with her more and like more talk. You had a sharper tongue. I think you were like
my wife is saying, read my comment.
Yeah. Her. Okay, I will. So
listening.
Nicole wants to know what Rosie is doing. The dog. The dog is named after, or I'm named after the dog.
She's probably doing what she always does, which is absolutely nothing.
She's so sweet. Your guys' dog is so sweet. I remember when I first saw Nicole, you guys went
Great America.
Yeah, it
You
was
went to
Great America, and I took a picture of you guys getting on a roller coaster because I thought you were going to get married.
Stop
and I'd have
it.
that picture forever, and I'd show it to you guys one time.
Really?
Yeah. I
You really
remember
have that
that.
still?
Yeah, I have it somewhere now.
Oh,
Like I
that's so
did, I showed
sweet.
it to you over the past 40 years or whatever.
I'm sure.
I did. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. I remember that. I'll never forget you guys getting on.
How
your
weird
little
is that we all went to Great America?
yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's like,
Okay,
oh yeah, we'll go
so-
there.
Let's see.
Was that when my Palm Pilot broke?
Might have been. Yeah, you had it in your. Why would you bring a Palm Pilot on a roller coaster?
I always
put it
had
in
it.
your
Yes,
pocket.
I think
you
it
always
was,
had
yeah.
in your pocket.
I don't think that's strange.
Yeah.
Because
Uh,
consider we all carry our
Your phones now. It was just I was ahead of my
yeah,
time.
Be a
yeah,
Blackberry
but the
at that
Palm
time.
Pilot was bigger. Okay, so can Rick play Jim's guitar? I'm asking this question first, Clay. This is Tim Bowers. Can Rick play Jim's guitar and vice versa?
I can't play Jim's left-handed guitar.
Because Jim is left-handed.
Yeah, I played around a little bit with right-handed guitars, but I always meant to do that more because, it's fun. 'Cause I have a friend, my friend who's left-handed also plays upside down, plays a righty guitar. And so it's fun to do because
Can you
just
play?
make up different things.
Okay, yeah,
I mean, I can
yes.
kind of play very basic things. I can figure it out, but I don't regularly. So, but
Clay Jackson, who took some beautiful photographs of us in normals, wants. Can Jim talk about the guitar that he played at the festival in normal? Did he make that? It looked really different and cool.
oh, that's John Taylor made that he's the guitar player in Mercy Roll from
Domestica now.
Yeah, in Domestica, Lincoln.
Earlier was 13 Nightmares.
Right, Lincoln, Nebraska, and he built guitars. He hasn't recently. I just saw he was at our show in Chicago, and he said he's working on it, maybe a couple, but he hasn't made any guitars in a long time. But yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're like indestructible, and he just was really abusive to his guitars, so he started making them himself. I think.
That was the
And
thing.
That's got to be a love of labor. That's got to take a long time to make a guitar.
yeah, he's like a carpenter, though. That's what he does for a living. So yeah, he's
And
a
he-
woodworker.
He
Or he works at
he used
an
to
organ.
repair guitars, and he used to destroy his guitars and
Yeah.
have to repair them. Yeah, so
And
he
then
has. Yeah,
Does he? Do they still? Well,
I don't know if he still does the organ. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
they
worked
in
at
an
the
organ
yeah,
factory,
he
pipe
had-
organ company, and
Yeah, definitely had a lot of background in that. And I have a
The matching pair, right?
right-handed
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
But he said he made them out of the same piece of wood.
Yeah.
Too. I remember. I think that's in my book actually. I remember him walking into a show once with 2 guitar cases, and I was like, "What's that?" And then he's like, "I need to talk to Jim and Rick." And I think that's in my book. I think it was in a tour report. So he made those guitars for you guys.
Yeah.
And he made a
Well-
bass for Heidi, for his wife.
hmm
And if you have a chance, so I feel like we need to play with House of Large Sizes and Domestica, Mercy Rule, 13 Nightmares,
Well,
whatever.
they were
I
talking
feel-
about some show in Iowa to do that, right?
Yeah, we need
They
to.
were talking. Well,
They just
House of
played.
Large Sizes just played a couple of Iowa shows, but I thought they were talking about somewhere else, but maybe not. Maybe they were talking about. I don't know. It was just dream talk, not
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, don't put it on your calendars yet.
Well,
but
also,
we
yeah,
all
we
want to
shouldn't
play
talk
together.
about it until something actually happens.
Well, maybe somebody who's listening can make it happen. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So those guitars don't have volume knobs.
No, they're
Yeah.
hardwired.
And so Matt, you know what? When can you talk about how you first started playing drums? Because you're such a fantastic drummer. Like, what's it like being a?
Where did
What's
it all
it-
start, man?
Well, what's it like being a drummer, though?
1976, a small child was born named Matt Frichat. Small little sticks were in his hand. And it was a pot and pan that started it all. No, I'm kidding.
Seriously, though, you're.
I don't know.
so-
My dad played drums. There was always like music instruments in the house, and then he like sold his drums, which was like a real shame. But I don't know. I played it like I think I just like any progression. Like I played saxophone in 4th and 5th grade, and then played keyboards, and it was my jazz band, the jazz band at the junior high. That was like I think we were playing like Steely Dan or some of that stuff. Where I played literally that year. I played in the same band, keyboard, saxophone, and drums. And I just loved the drums because it was like, it was just cool. It was like way
So,
cooler.
would you say the easiest parts to play in Steely Dan songs are the drums?
What's it called? Back, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, that
to
is.
the- Yeah, I
that
think
is-
it was some like horn version of that.
Yeah.
It was like that. But yeah, so then I don't know. It was from junior high. Then I just started getting into like 1,000 bands. Played
So-
at the Thirsty Whale.
So there was a kit at your house that you started playing, or did you get a kit? When
Kinda-
did you get a kit?
Not until like a little bit later, and then of course it had to be a heavy metal double bass kit. That is funny in itself.
So who
actually.
was the drummer? Who would have been your drum idol then?
It's really embarrassing because I just like a bunch of
Well, that's why
metal
I asked.
bands.
I wanted to know.
You're always like Matt will come into it like practice or he'll show up at the show like loading stuff in, and he'll be wearing shorts, and he'll be like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna have pants on." Like you're so
This is not a rock uniform. You got to get into your rock uniform.
so conscientious. It's kind of weird.
There's
But
like
who
a-
is? So tell us who. I mean, come on, it can't be any worse than like all the stuff that Chris Schneberger
I don't know.
likes.
You know what it was?
Can't
You know
be
what it was
worse than
too?
Rush.
Okay, so this is where because you guys know all these like super cool ultra indie rock fans, right? So I feel like anything that I say is super mainstream.
Yeah. No, I'm curious.
So I think it was more okay. I was into a bunch of heavy metal. Then I had long hair in high school, right? So it was mostly about speed and like playing kind of fast. And then I got into real technical stuff where I would go see my brother at when he was at college, and I woke up one morning and the Soundgarden Bad Motorfinger was just like blaring in the other room. Remember those like super tall speakers that are like basically as tall as you, where you would like somebody had a hi-fi like that, and it was on record. And I was like, "What is this, man?" Because it was like some odd time signatures a little bit, but that was kind of the start of like getting a little bit more technical. And then like this is not, I am not blowing smoke right now, but then when I started learning your stuff, I was like, "Oh God, this is." You really got to think with this stuff, you know what I mean? This is like math. So then from there, I think I don't know. I started like reaching out a little bit more. And then it was like you go through this phase. I think everybody who takes like official lessons goes through this phase with like jazz, right? Where, oh, you're not a real player unless you like jazz. So then I was in college and I was in the jazz band there, right? And it was cool because there was this guy, Tom Tallman, who was a trumpet player. He was always on WBEZ, and he could name like any record, any year with like 2 notes or something like that. So they would like listen to jazz all the time. So then you played like vibes and you played percussion, and I never could make it to be like a performance major, right? Because I went down to try out to be at U of I, like I wanted to try to be a performance major, and it basically got laughed out of the room when I was down.
That's so weird.
That was the problem. Is like if you're a kit drummer. I mean, it's not so much now, but yeah, it definitely.
No, you had to like play timpani,
Right,
and
exactly.
then you had to play like
It was
all-
much
yeah,
more kind of classical,
and you had to like read down this
percussion.
marimba part or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And I could do it, and we played. Like when I was at Elmhurst College, we played the Barber of Seville on all marimbas, like 15 marimbas, like bass marimbas, and it was so cool. But it was just if you wanted to go to a real college or university playing music, you really had to be like next level. And I was never next level on percussion. So
I
then-
still want to know what the drummer was, like the metal drummer that was just like, or the bands that were like that initial.
He's not going. He's not going to make
as
fun of
much
you.
too
It's
embarrassing.
embarrassing.
It's not too embarrassing. It's I'm honestly curious.
honestly curious. See, I know this goes with Rick, right? He asks these questions, and then like 6 times he'll bring it up out of the blue. He'll be like, "Remember when you said that thing?" Yeah, it's like, "Oh,
Well,
were
just
were
do it
just
to
listening
upset
a
you,
bunch
though.
A little bit?
So I'm just going to assume it's the guy from Def Leppard, right?
Well, there was. You know what? It's funny. Like that was me and my brother. Like, because he liked metal, so then I liked metal, right? So he was like, "Oh, this is like check this out, check this out, check this out," and like even Metallica and stuff, right? It was like, "Oh, this is pretty neat," and that's sad to say now because I like a lot of other stuff, but I was just like a kid who liked heavy metal.
Did your
And I'd
parents?
still love to know what the embarrassing one was, like
I
Metallica.
think even Metallica is kind of embarrassing.
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
I do, but I know other people don't.
No, I think it's really embarrassing, but hey, you got to start somewhere.
Jim liked Metallica. I think there's
Yeah.
I always feel like there's like a 3-year period where it was like punk rockers didn't like metal and then
Yeah.
don't like Metallica, and then I do remember where it was like Jim was listening to Metallica, and I'm like, why the hell would you listen to Metallica and Dinosaur? You know, it was just like, what's wrong with you? But then everybody was doing that, and it's like, okay, it's
It was
obviously
a bit slightly ironic, but not
Yeah.
really. But
yeah,
I like Motorhead better.
right.
But
Well,
yeah.
that's allowed.
yeah,
That's a lot.
That was-
What-
that's
uh,
different.
It's like it's so weird in the spectrum of metal. What is cool and not cool, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
What did you study in college?
The Walter Cronkite School of Broadcast and Telecommunications.
Yeah,
So it was broadcast and then like kind of broadcast management.
I'm gonna make you talk in front of my music business class next year again. But you told a story about how you started working at RCA. Can you can you tell some and then speak German for us a little?
It's just like, come on, do that thing. Be on the spot, man. Do stuff.
It's a podcast.
No, I will say I think we've talked about this a bunch when I worked at RCA. So you would, it was a, yeah, I did like the Taster's Choice with school where I went to College of DuPage, then I went to Elmer's College, then I finished at Arizona State. So it was a lot of tasting school, like in a bunch of different ways. But so Rick looks so bored over there.
No.
It's a transfer. You were a transfer student.
That's what a lot of people do.
He doesn't.
now.
Yeah, he doesn't look bored. He's our transfer students that come into ISU are the smart. Like not that the other kids are not smart, but like they're like really know what they're talking about all the time.
And I'm trying not to interrupt, so I'm putting the microphone.
Sorry.
Doing this
Yeah.
so
Got
you
it,
can
got it.
to keep
Yeah.
myself from just making a smart ass comment.
Apparently, I'm not. So
I like the smartest comments.
Anyways,
You're like, I could go to sleep here now. Any
so
minute.
so you finished at Arizona. So what did you study? Or
No, so
Yeah.
it was so when I was at Elmer's College, it was music business. Like there was a music business program,
yeah.
and we flew out to LA to like meet these record label people, and we met Adam Duritz from Counting Crows in the Street like at like midnight. It was the weirdest thing. He was just like walking around, and it was at the Viper Club where who
River
died?
Phoenix.
Yeah, like recently he had recently died there.
Hmm.
And we just wanted we weren't 21, but we wanted to just see the front of the club, so we walked over there, and it was the weirdest thing ever. He talked with us for like 4 minutes, and then he just kept going on his way. or
Hey,
whatever.
you kids are in music business. Let me tell you about the business.
He was smoking a cigar. No kidding. So that was that, and then I went to Arizona State, and the closest thing to anything was just like communications was the way to get done with school, basically. But I worked in radio for a long time, so it was kind of like my major to some degree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But how did you?
Oh yeah, so the RCA thing. Yes,
Yeah.
so this is the best. So so you would be a college marketing rep where you work 20 or 30 hours a week as like you get like a part-time job, right? So your job was to promote new bands to college radio, college press, and then independent record stores. You would like drop off stuff, right? So of course, if it was the records that everybody would listen to, they would sell these. They're supposed to be promos, but of course they'd like put them right in the bin.
Oh
and
right,
sell them,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
These independent record stores, which was kind of annoying, but it was like, all right, whatever. But I just remember Hum like had like a whole stack of cassettes because they were on RCA Records, and I was like, obviously I thought it was a great record, I thought it was really cool, and I was like, what do we do with these? He's like, just throw them away, and I was like, whoa, like this is they had obviously had a hit already, right? And there was just product left over, and I was like, what happens with this product? Like, what do we do here? And that was it. Like, there was kind of like, that was a day where I was like, oh, this is how the record industry works, basically.
It was the day that shot your dreams or something.
Of course,
or
I stole 10, and I was like,
Yeah.
I got to give these to people that I know.
I have a story about a Hum cassette too. Like I have that story about like I gave a Hum. Was it Seymour Stein or was it what's his name?
Probably
Howie
Howie
Klein.
Klein.
Howie Klein. We brought because we put out the first Hum records, and I had given Howie Klein. Yeah, it had to have been Howie Klein, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Hum cassette. And when we went into his office, and he had like a line of cassettes all across his. And this was before Hum would have been signed to RCA, right? A line of cassettes across his desk, and his assistant came in and put a milkshake down for him, right? And then put some papers down at his desk, and all of the cassettes all like did like the domino thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the last one on I think, yeah. I may have taken the Hum cassette and put it first in line so he would listen to it.
Yeah.
But when they all fell over and the Hum cassette was first now and it fell into the garbage. It fell off the desk into the garbage, and I looked at these. You guys remember this? I looked at these guys and I ran up and I grabbed it out of the garbage and stuck it back on his desk and then ran back and sat down. I'll never forget that.
Wait, were you instrumental in getting them a record deal?
No, well, we put out the records though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
No, I know, but
we did
were
not.
you like actively like these guys are good?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
But that not I don't think that held a lot of weight.
It's not because well, although they would ask us, the record label people would always ask us who was next. Who
was it like
you
a
guys
bidding
think
war?
next?
Like how did that?
I
Like,
think
how did that unfold?
They
They-
had a bidding war.
a little bit
Yeah,
of one. Yeah, it was a little later, so things were getting weird.
They got a. I remember their lawyer was Richard
Yeah.
Grable, right?
Yeah,
I
they
remember all that
had the
stuff.
big time lawyers. So it was still during the grunge kind of feeding frenzy, but it was towards the end of it. So they got I think they got a pretty good deal, but and there were multiple labels, but it wasn't like as rabid as that first
Where did, like,
3 or 4
where did,
months
like,
after Nirvana happened.
Was it where did Menthol fall in that?
Well, let's finish with the
So that's
hums.
they were on. Were they? No, they were on Mercury, right?
No, Capitol. I thought
Capitol. That's right.
Capital. I actually, you guys would know if you read my book because I've
Yeah. I just
interviewed
couldn't
Balti.
remember. I can't. I can't remember how. Yeah. So that
was
was
it the part with me in it because I didn't read that part.
But just I wanted to make clear that we did not get any money when Hum signed to a major label. We didn't ask.
Why
for,
would you even care? Like if you put out the record, then you should get money, right?
But we were under the impression from the Steve Albini article that would be money that they would need, that they would have to pay
Oh,
back.
I see. Okay, if it
which
was
is true.
against, yeah, okay, that's fair. That's
Cody
fair.
B is
well, we
asking.
didn't have a contract with
we
them.
didn't have a
So
contract with them
do
either. Yeah.
contracts. It's not-
Hum is
yeah.
the best band ever. No offense, says Cody B. And Cody
No
B is no offense.
You
None
can suck
taken, Cody B. And but he's asking about Phil
What is
show.
My question is what does the Grateful Dead think about that, though?
We put out the first 2 Hum records, Cody B.
He knows. He's asking about.
And it's not Cardi
Felicia.
B, right?
Yeah. Okay. But and Menthol is playing a show.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
they are?
right. They are
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
in Champagne.
Yeah. Cody, you think Hum is great? Menthol is greater.
Dry
I
Heaves.
think
Dry
a lot
Heaves.
of I think a lot of people know both bands.
I just always
people who
remember
know Hum
that
know
was the
Menthol.
bubbles, like or
Yeah.
spheres or whatever on there.
But I've
Sticks in
asked
my
you. Can you tell us how you got the job at RCA though?
No, so that was it. So it was like you were in this music business program, and then they were like, "Oh, you're going to need an internship." So then you just worked for nothing, right? And I remember this guy. He would just smoke like a chimney in his office, right? And he was just like real raspy voice, like it totally like typical record guy. Man, we're gonna get Dave Matthews, flown from here to here. It's like these guys want a new satellite. Can we get him a satellite or no? Like basically like we'll give you whatever you want just to play this record. And then we had like really bad rock bands. I mean, I shouldn't say they were all bad, but they were not awesome. So you would like
There goes
beg-
our chance of playing Riot Fest again. But go on.
no, you'd like beg people. You'd beg people to like play these other bands, right? That even though you had like we had the Tribe Called Quest record, which was really good because that was like jive record. So, and then Dave Matthews was like bonkers popular at that time, and then I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it was only until after I left where they like RCA actually got Foo Fighters and all these other bands that were.
Now I remember the question I wanted to ask you. But okay, let me read a couple of. Patrick Katovich says Menthol, and then David Byczowski says these are names I've never seen on our podcast. So it's really nice. Menthol are great. Hum were better, but Hardwork was the best. That's right. And then he's correcting himself.
Revisit Hardback.
And my question to you should have been, how did you get the job at BMG? Because you worked at BMG.
Yeah, so that was it. It was kind of that. I don't think it was because of the music business program, but it was. There was just a lot of like flyers and stuff of like try this, and then I think I called over there. But I will say that here's the best thing is that when I worked for BMG and then I studied abroad for school.
Yeah.
And then I just walked into the BMG Switzerland office and I was just like, How do I get a job here?
Oh, I thought it was Germany. I thought you were you
both.
Yeah.
So I was in Munich and and Switzerland.
So what did you say when you went into Munich?
Hello.
I love when he speaks German. It's so weird.
Kein Job haben bitte. So no, that I just said, hey, I'm whatever. I have a college marketing job over there, and they were like, yeah, you can get a practicum, which is like a internship.
Yeah.
So that's what I got, and then I just helped out the the worst pop records on the planet. One of them being David Hasselhoff. Everybody.
Oh, what? You have a
man.
connection to David Hasselhoff?
Because it would show all these like what they sold over there. So like
oh yeah,
David
no,
Hasselhoff
that
was
would have
way
been
up
big.
there.
Yeah, that would have been big
The
in
Hoff.
Germany. He's big in Germany.
What was the name of that kind of pop music? The German. Isn't there a name for that?
Europop?
Schlager.
Oh, Schlagermusik?
What is
That's
that? What
like-
it is?
But that's like folks music.
Oh,
like,
okay,
it's
okay.
like, you know.
All right.
Chuck Moore is saying you guys
Chuck
should do
Moore.
a show with House Large Sizes while they are playing a few shows again. Codfish Hollow Barn in Iowa. Andy Lester asks, each of you, what was the first record you bought with your own money?
Oh, I know
Own
this.
money.
Mine was the Aces High Iron Maiden cassette single.
Cassette.
A Casingle. You bought a Casingle.
Not a maxi single, but a single.
Casingle. I bought. I
I
went
was
to.
afraid of it too, by the way.
I went to Beautiful Day Records. I had other records, but with my own money, I bought Foreigner, Double Vision, and Grand Illusion by Styx.
Oh God! Did I tell you I ran into the guitarist from Styx?
JY.
Yeah, we talked about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
In
not on Radio
LaGrange,
Zero.
in
Talk,
LaGrange.
yeah, talk
He
about
lives
that.
in LaGrange.
I know, but I didn't know that.
We always
Wait, you live here? What did
we-
you talk to him about? What did
No,
you say?
I saw a friend that I know, and she was like, "Hey, this guy plays in a band." I'm like, "Which one?" And he's like, "Styx." I'm like, "Whoa!"
He's
and
like
then-
really humble.
Yeah. And then I was like, I remember my uncle, some weird way, had given us an autographed 8x10 of Styx. And I just remember the one guy looked like a poodle, like a lot. Like the hair was very poodle-like. And I remember that. Like, I still have that somewhere, actually. So that's what I told him. I told him the story of, like, getting this 8x10. He was like, "That's cool, man."
JY always had straight hair, so yeah, he was cool with that because he wasn't one of the poodle guys.
That was like a 70s haircut, for like band haircut, like the Kevin Cronin, like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I knew a person from the 70s who had curly hair. All right, Jim, say something. What do you have to say for yourself?
What was the first record you bought with your own money? Do you remember?
Not really. Well, I remember buying like Sparkle in the Rain, Simple Minds,
Show off.
but that was
Not
I don't-
Purple Rain.
I mean, I got records earlier that, yeah, not really. But like as a kid, I remember buying records at Venture. We'd buy singles,
Yeah.
And I bought Les Freak, whatever, Chic.
Oh,
That's
there you
right.
go.
I still have that with the
Lots of-
pictures, the little 45.
45.
I
Yeah,
love
lots
that
of
was,
45.
Think about it.
I remember buying that.
I
Most
remember
of that.
trying to adventure, trying to find
Venture.
Paul or what was
That's
it?
amazing.
Wings Greatest Hits, and I couldn't find it because it was filed under Paul McCartney.
The
or
Pipes of
that
Peace?
vice versa. It was the Greatest Hits, but it was either under Paul McCartney instead of Wings or under Wings instead of Paul McCartney. And I couldn't find it. That was the thing is really early on. We saw there was a version of Yellow Submarine on Sesame Street. I've
Something
tried to
like that.
find this. I don't know if it was actually Sesame Street, but some kids show people. I feel like it was Sesame Street singing Yellow Submarine, and
Yeah, I wanted that record, and
Yeah.
that was about like 4.
yeah.
that was the first record I remember getting. Yeah,
And we went to Pearson's Music, which was a music store. So that was how long ago it was. It was like it wasn't even a record. Like it was
Yeah.
a
They just had
music
some-
store that had records, right? So
Yeah.
sheet music, musical instruments, and then records. And my mom asked, "Do you have Yellow Submarine by the Muppets or something?" Right? She wanted that version, and they were like, "No, but we have."
Yeah, I just called to say I love you.
Yeah. This was a long time ago. But they had the soundtrack album for Yellow Submarine, and my mom and dad had seen that movie, and so she was like, "Okay, we'll get the Beatles one."
uh-huh.
And
Yeah, that
but
was
that
my favorite record.
yeah,
with
it's a
the-
weird record
yeah,
too.
the half George Martin half. I
Yeah.
even listened to that. The second half is the George Martin, stuff he did, and I loved to listen to that too. But I didn't know anything about the Beatles. It was just like, I was like 4 years old, and it was like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
a great record.
And so I think that was a lot of people's early music experience was the Beatles, right? Like their parents would have Beatles records and stuff, but for us, it was that record, which is definitely a weird Beatles record. It's
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
usually anyone's entry point, like "Hey Bulldog" and
It's all too much.
Oh, it's
George,
all too
that's my
much.
favorite song. That
Yeah.
the George
Yeah.
Harrison song.
It's Nobody had the Happy Monsters record because we did.
yeah. What about you, Rose? First record?
That I bought with my own money.
Mhm.
I'm a late bloomer. So
Who's that by?
it's the Sex Pistols. I bought a Sex Pistols and I bought that Dead Kennedys record.
See, that's like instant cool. Like
It's
you were like,
instant. Well, or I didn't listen to music, that type of music, until I was
okay,
really
so then
old.
what were you doing all in between? Like you
Playing
just
the
like,
piano and the violin. Like
you saw Kiss, right?
I did. I had to go with my friend
You
to see
had to
Kiss.
go?
That was your
Yeah, I was very little. I didn't know what that was. Like, yeah, I wrote about it in my book.
I gotta read that
If
book.
you read that book,
I gotta
yeah,
read that
you
book.
should read the book. She talks
Yeah.
about
Guess
it.
I got something to do this weekend.
It's right at the beginning. Yeah, I saw Kiss.
Good.
Yeah, I wasn't really that big of a Kiss fan, but somebody gave me for my birthday.
So wait, you saw a Kiss concert and you're like,
Yeah.
Who opened?
The band with the bald gay person.
Player?
Judas Priest.
Yes.
She saw Judas
Really?
Priest.
Yeah, I saw
and
that. Yeah.
Kiss.
And
Yeah.
wait, you saw that and you're like, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it
whatever.
wasn't like the Pixies. They were great. I know, right? Yeah, I'm not trying to be cool. When you see Kiss, it's the size of your pinky, right? They're
Oh, you were
that
just really
size
far
of, yeah,
back.
of course, I
But
was
they had,
really
like,
far
didn't they
back.
have, like explosions and stuff.
Yeah.
And, all like
Blood.
Yeah, yeah. And Paul Stanley looked at me. Me and my friend were arguing over. He looked at me. He smiled at me because that was the one that everybody liked was Paul Stanley. But I didn't. Yeah, and I was given for a birthday. I was given that Styx. Somebody had posted about the Styx Paradise Theater. So with the rainbow lithograph, I was given that and Eagles record. Some Eagles record.
Sure. all
Greatest
good
hits,
records.
probably.
Yeah.
The one with the animal skull on it.
I don't remember.
Or
I can't
oh
think
no
I
no
didn't-
you had Hotel California maybe.
I don't think so.
The long run.
Yeah.
You had
Yes. The long run. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was I doing, Matt? I was playing music, not consuming it like
Okay,
the
so
rest of you
just
guys.
classical music you were
Yeah,
playing?
I was playing classical music
Wow.
only. Like I was forced to practice the piano and play classical music and
But
then
didn't you,
violin.
Okay, I
I
can't.
listened to the radio.
Didn't you see all these lights and madness, and you were like, "Oh my god, this is crazy! I love this."
No, no, I didn't. I really didn't.
That's weird.
It's weird to me that you guys all you guys do that though. You saw.
I didn't go to a concert until, which was the first one? I saw Peter Gabriel and the Who around the same time.
That's
On
pretty
the same
cool.
tour?
No,
Oh,
no,
That'd be
but it's all
amazing.
around. I think Peter Gabriel was first. I can't remember what my first
Oh, we've got a whole
rock
bunch of
concert was.
Kevin.
The Smiths. I saw that was my
Shit.
first.
Is that
saw
your
the
first?
Smiths, yeah.
You are so
There we go.
cool. That's cool.
And then my second concert, I think, was Black Flag at the Metro.
Wow.
Rick, you've got like
See,
a. I
so
love
this is
Rick's
why I
laugh.
did not want to talk about heavy metal. You guys are like one-uppers. Yeah,
See,
no,
yeah,
this-
you're none of that is cooler than what you have to say. None of that is cooler than what you have to say.
that's-
Seriously.
That's nice of you.
No, I'm not. It's cute. It's adorable, Matt. Okay, so Kevin Dunham says had to go. I think that's referencing I had to go to the Kiss concert. Judas Priest was Jason Young's first concert when he was 16.
That's a good concert.
Tim Bowers there's a whole bunch of questions here, and they're scrolling weirdly for me. Sorry, everybody. Tim Bowers for Matt. What was the best part of living in Germany that is not music related? And then there's a laughing face, but I think that's regarding something else. What was the best part of living in Germany that is not music related?
I thought. See, this is like the euro wasn't even there yet, so everything
Oh,
was
yeah.
really cheap because the dollar was really strong.
You were in West Germany,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
Obviously,
And
yeah.
then I had made some connections, so I went over there to play with some bands, and it, like you could book a tour fairly easy, like Germany, Switzerland, Poland, even as well. And this Poland, they were like, we had this like punk rock driver who she's like pierced everywhere, tattooed every part of her body, and she's like, I'm going to sleep with the van. And I was like, why? She's like, they steal everything here. And I was like, really?
Wait,
She's
you
like,
were on tour?
Yeah,
You
with,
were
like-
playing a show.
Yes. And it was like,
With what band?
it's like a band
You're not
from
going to tell us.
high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But
But even right before, or even during when you were in Poster Children early on, you did an overseas tour. I thought.
yeah,
I feel
it
like,
was
yeah.
you would do these little like week
Yeah,
here,
I
week
remember
there or
that.
something.
Yeah.
And then they would when you slept at the venue in the basement and it was cold, they were like, hey, does this radiator work? And they would just laugh at you. They were like, this hasn't worked since World War II. And they're like, have fun. Door closes. No, it's always, I thought it was cool just because I don't know. I think people really enjoy life there more than they do here. It's everything is work, 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 and over there was pretty chill, I think.
And you've taken that to heart.
I know.
Yes.
There's nobody who works harder than Matt. Why do you know how to speak German and Italian?
I had to live there. I had to go to meetings, and it was just like a job.
How long did you spend there?
2 years.
Wow, yeah, that's okay.
That's right, kids.
2 years. Patrick Katovich says, my first records bought were all trash, but then I was given the Madonna Roe versus Wade compilation with Poster Children. Roe versus Wade, what was that? I forgot. With Poster Children,
Just
I've
say Roe.
only
Was the compilation?
Hey, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Roe. Okay.
I'm
You're
talking
making
politics,
a joke about politics.
making a political joke. Then I've only bought cool records since you guys are so I'm. The reason that I'm not talking about 70s bands that everybody knows about is because I don't know about them. That's why.
It's
and
funny
I
you
don't.
whiz by them, and you actually probably saw concerts that people would die to see. They're like, nah, not interested.
All I remember, and this is in my book, all I remember is just people were smoking pot. I was like, wow, people are smoking pot behind us,
How did you know that as a a
because
12-year-old?
my girlfriend who had an older sibling told me that's pot. Cody B says first concert Neil Young and Crazy Horse with Sonic Youth and Social D. So Social Distortion. So that's cooler than all of us. Kevin, everybody's telling us their first shows. This is cool. Kevin Dunham, first NA date of what's NA date of the In Excess Kick Tour at ISU's Braden Auditorium.
Oh, wow.
Nice. And then Vin Mar says, my first concert was The Start with Amy Echo from the Human Waste Project. Highly recommend if you like 80s synth rock. I'm just commenting because I want more people to know of them. Isn't that nice? Okay, I'm just checking the Radio Zero Facebook, and not much is going on there. Okay. What was I going to ask?
We
you
should
guys?
probably wrap it up too.
Do you want
Has
to
it
talk
been
any
an hour?
any
It's been an
any
hour.
politics?
Even with more than an hour with the downtime.
Andy Lester says first show was Rush in 1984.
Oh, yes.
First
That's
punk
good.
show was Naked Raygun at the Metro. Oh, yes. Yeah, I would say, yeah.
I saw Rush at Alpine Valley.
I loved. Oh, we
Which
saw
one is Alpine Valley?
the
No,
one
is
that
that Wisconsin?
It's the Wisconsin
Troy.
one.
the
Yeah.
one we tried to get to
Yeah,
see.
we didn't realize how
Everest
far
Aeros
away it
Poplar-
was.
Remember Poplar Creek?
Yeah.
Tim
That's-
Bauer says Cheap Trick Chicago Fest.
Poplar
Next,
Creek is where I
1979.
saw Talking Heads.
Oh, wow. See again?
Oh, NA, North
bands.
American Date. Sorry, that's what NA stands for. From Kevin Dunham. Can you guys talk a little bit about politics? Get Rick all upset.
Is that what somebody
Mike
asked?
Markowski.
Five,
Yeah, I'm asking it.
4,
Mike
3.
Mike is
2.
saying first show was kind of lame. It was Spin Doctors, Soul Asylum, and Screaming Trees. You see, I want to go. I heard that Soul Asylum is playing.
again. Land again. Land again.
Oh, that. Well, I won't. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but yeah.
I think we talked about this already.
So what kind of did you? Okay, you know what? Forget politics. Have you watched The Bear yet?
No, I'm telling you, I had such a not awesome experience in season 1 where maybe it was too late at night. It looked too jerky. Like
Yeah,
it was,
that's-
I was getting sick watching it almost.
That's what I
And
thought
I was
too.
kinda like, what is this?
Yeah.
And people screaming at each other to make beef sandwiches. It was just like,
That's what I
going
thought
on
too. But
here?
you have to watch it. It's good.
This is what everybody's telling me.
Yeah. And
to do
I
this.
walked back in. I think what happened was Rick was watching it with our son Dairy King, and then I got jealous.
Dairy
Yeah, we
King.
call him Dairy King. And then I got jealous. I was like,
want Dairy
wait, how
Queen.
come he's watching it? And then I tried to watch it. So you can make it. It's like the first episode I think is real shaky, but I highly
They learn how
recommend
to
it.
Keep the camera still.
You should
later on.
watch it. But then people who are, or at least our token Republican friend from Chicago, was complaining about it. So it might not be Chicago. It may be somebody else's conception of Chicago, but I think it's good. Okay,
Got
what
it.
else?
Oh, I don't know. I think
You think we should wrap it up? Probably. Okay.
Oh, I mean, we
We're
could
just starting to have fun, Rick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to respect your time. It's Friday. It's you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
that's
Has
true.
it been an hour already?
it's been over an hour.
It's been
Oh
over
my
an hour.
God. So
Do you
much
have-
fun.
Flies
Do you have
by.
anything else? Well, you can. Can't we fix it so that these
Come
guys
to Milwaukee
can
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll continue this on the stage.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it is at the shows lately. It's like,
Don't, like if I was watching a band play and they started talking and I could understand them, I
But-
would probably like that.
but you're one out of like 10 that would enjoy that.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that.
Well, we need to do, a little bit of banter is good to pad out the set.
Yeah, but usually I'm playing and then you guys are talking.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
that's great.
that's
That's
funny.
You need to.
Going.
It's not
That's
funny.
funny.
I worry
Going.
about his poor little drummer arms.
Poor
I
little
don't think that's
drummer
funny
arms,
at
isn't
all.
it? No, it's emasculating. Poor little drummer arms.
Yeah, exactly right.
This is like a little
It's
child
a joke
playing
because
with
his arms
the
are huge. They're like tree trunks.
chopsticks. It's like yeah, with little tiny hands.
Rick's. This is
God.
what we're referring to is Rick likes that, like, well, now we're starting with that song with lots of drumming in it,
Yes.
and Rick just talks or like just
Yeah.
like makes Matt like does it hurt? Do I not have to worry about
He's
your
in the
poor
zone.
little?
He's a professional.
Oh, okay. It doesn't hurt. It's not irritating.
No, it's
'Cause
it's
I don't
totally
want you-
fine. 5 minutes or less of that is pretty okay.
I don't-
Actually.
Ooh,
So-
now I know I got a time limit, so I'm gonna have to push it.
Well, if you make his arms tired,
Well, I
he's
was
going to
only,
play
okay,
fast.
so I was going to wrap to say I saw that David Bowie thing that you watched,
Oh yeah.
and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it. It was the first thing I've ever watched with my noise canceling headphones on.
Mhm.
Like I connected those to my TV, and that was good listening to the music.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you think it was out there, or were you like, okay, this is cool?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Did you? It's very artsy.
Yeah. It's like I do wish I had seen it in a theater. I guess like a
I feel
visual
like it's
experience.
on HBO like every 5 seconds
Yeah.
now.
It's not a lot. So there's a remastered Ziggy Stardust concert, the last Ziggy Stardust concert that's out now. I'm curious to see that too. So his final concert is Ziggy Stardust
wow.
in like 1973 or something. They've
But
they've
you were
redone.
like that song that we played like a little bit of.
Oh yeah.
and I was like, why does he like that? And then I heard it, and I was like, oh yeah. this
yeah.
is
There's a
pretty
more
good.
rock version of it. They're all different versions of it. Yeah.
Vin-
Yeah, it
stuff.
works really well in that movie. I like. Yeah, that's the thing I like the best.
Well, that's it for our 5 o'clock show. We'll be here at
Vin
7,
Mar
9,
says
and 10.
band banter is the best. I am the second person that enjoys it. So there.
Banter.
Uh,
All right. I'm gonna hit the goodbye music. Thanks everybody for
Yeah, you
tolerating
guys
the
think-
technical things, and thanks you guys for
I missed the
humoring
snack
us here.
guy. Yeah.
no, this is
Thank
great.
you guys for being on Radio
Absolutely.
Zero.